Hi everyone, my name is Brad. This is a review of the Remarkable 2 and the Supernote A5X. I'm not a professional YouTuber. There's a lot of more detailed, better reviews out there, a ton of them on the internet. And I'm not a video editor. This will be one take, very casual, and I'm gonna say a lot. But I really thought there was an opportunity in the space to provide kind of the average guy, the average person, how my impressions, their impressions of the Supernote and the Remarkable. I ordered the Remarkable first, and then I found out that the Supernote existed, so I ordered that as well to kind of do my own head-to-head, because a lot of the more detailed reviews, not that I didn't trust them, I just didn't know, I wanted to experience it for myself. So my hope is that having a more typical person, everyday use, and I'll tell you my specific use case for these devices, might be helpful for some people so they don't have to order both like I did, or if they want to and do their own little test, then that's fantastic. But a little bit about myself. I'm a healthcare executive. My intent and use case for this is to keep all my meeting notes, all my project notes, all my personnel notes kind of more organized and easily manipulated, moved, edited than the Moleskine, the Padfolio, and things that I currently use. So that's kind of where I'm coming from on this. And we're just kind of work through the list. So let's do it. All right, so here they are, both the Remarkable 2 and the Supernote A5X. I went with the brown case for each, and I went with the Marker Plus for the Remarkable 2, and I went with a Heart of Metal black for the Supernote. So opening them up, we really get to the first issue, I won't say issue, but the first differentiator here. The Remarkable is sleeping. In order to do anything with the Remarkable, literally every time you open it, you have to hit the button to awaken it. Doesn't seem like a huge deal at first. However, one of my takeaways is that it does become annoying over multiple day use. So starting at the top, I think most issues here, or most reviews, will have some sort of defining statement on the file management of the Supernote versus the Remarkable, and I cannot agree more. The Supernote has much better file management. It starts with just opening files. You can open a new doc, you can open a new Word doc, a new file, and you can open a new file from any one of these. So even within a file, I've got a team member file, and these are all my leaders on my team. I can go into one of these subfiles and open another file. So it makes it very easy to categorize, makes it very easy to navigate, where my files are and what is going on within my device, and it's just so user-friendly, so intuitive, that it gets the nod. The second thing I had noted here, let me back up. On the Remarkable 2, I want to say the file management is actually better than I expected. It sounds like there was a recent update. I'm making this video in end of November in the year 2021 here, and it sounds like there was a recent update for the Remarkable 2 that really increased the functionality of the file management. It is not as bad as I thought, but it's just not as intuitive. It's not as smooth. It's harder. I can't go into one of these notebooks and I can't open or one of these notes, and I can't put a file within it. It's kind of it's just a different system. It's not as easily used as a system, and it's just not as user-friendly for what I'm trying to do with it. And the volume of notes and how I have to categorize them and the volume of projects, it's just not as user-friendly for me, for my use case. So that takes care of the first item. Second item I wanted to talk about, I kind of already did, is the quick start feature. The quick start with the Remarkable is with the Supernote rather, is absolutely fantastic. You open it up and boom, you're in. Now it does come at a bit of expense of battery life, but I don't have, all other reviews, it should last about a week. That tends to see what I'm working with in terms of how much battery I'm using per day over the last couple of days. I don't need more battery than that. So it's kind of a non-issue for me. I would rather much have the quick start than have to constantly with the Remarkable. Now it didn't sleep in this case because it was a relatively quick close, but once it goes to sleep, you'll have to hit the button again when you can set every 15 to 30 minutes or whatever that window is. But oftentimes that you hit that throughout the day in your workflow, and I found myself constantly having to push the power button. It becomes laborious. So quick start is a huge pro for the Super Note, and it wins over the Remarkable, not having the quick start. The one thing that I do really like about, another thing I do really like about the Remarkable too is the file folder scaling. That's kind of what I'm calling it. How these lay out on the screen is actually a fantastic size. I do prefer a much smaller font size I want more info on my screen. I don't want a really zoomed in screen. Remarkable, I think, does a much better job of that scaling. Now, on the Super Note, these are a little big for me. They could be, if they were the same size as the Remarkable, I think I would prefer that look a little better. You can, in the settings, change the font size, which I did, and I think that helps a little bit, but not to make it as good as the Remarkable. So it's better when you make the font size smaller, but I still think the Remarkable wins in terms of the scaling. Takes care of that one. The next is the biggest thing that people talk about when they talk about the differences is the feel. They make note that the Remarkable feels more like pencil and paper, and then the Super Note feels more like pen on paper. I think that's not a wrong analogy, but I don't think it's necessarily correct. I'm not an artist. I have not an artistic bone in my body. So to me, it more feels, the difference in friction is what I feel. And I guess you can, relate that to paper, pencil and paper versus pen and paper, but I don't think pen and paper completely accurately describes the feel of this Super Note. Not that it doesn't feel like pen on paper, I guess it more feels like, a high gloss printer paper with a very smooth writing pen. But to me, it comes down to friction. I like the feel, and I love the feel of the Remarkable marker on the screen. It's hands down what I would prefer. The Super Note does feel very good, but it's definitely a writing interface, not a drawing interface. So I would 100% agree with a lot of the other reviews on that. The feel of the writing with the soft screen and the soft nib goes a really long way on the Remarkable. I do enjoy the experience a lot with the Super Note, but it's just not the same as the Remarkable. Remarkable wins, period. I've even used the Remarkable marker and soft nib on the Super Note screen, which makes it a little nicer. I shouldn't say nicer, it just makes it a little different. You get a little more tactile feel, you get a little more friction, which I think I was really looking for, and I do enjoy the friction of the Remarkable. So I would expect that if you like that, using the Lamy pen with the Super Note or any other soft nib pen with the Super Note would give you a little more of the experience of the Remarkable. But it's still not the same just due to the screen interface. The other thing that stuck out to me is pen security. So the pen security on the Remarkable is fantastic in terms of how it looks, how it snaps on very well. But I found in my bag, I had a lot of anxiety. When I put it in my carry bag, I don't know if I'm going to hit the pen. I don't know if I'm going to damage the pen, which has become an issue on some of the forums, some of the reviews. But I always just don't feel that it's locked on there completely securely. It looks fantastic. It's got a great form, function, great form and look. It looks slick, it looks clean, but I worry about the security. I absolutely love the security of the Super Note pen. It's not going anywhere. I don't worry about it in my bag. I throw it on my bag, and I don't have to think twice. I don't have the anxiety that this gives me. And that could be a personal thing, but I don't think I'm alone in that. And I do like that the nib is closed or concealed or encased with the heart of metal pen as opposed to with the Remarkable marker. Now, the pen I do love the erase feature. the Remarkable 2 on the Marker Plus, and I do understand that there is going to be a function update coming, a gesture, where you can turn coming for the Super Note, where 2 fingers on the screen will turn your pen into an eraser. Or you could just get the Lamy pen, push the button. But I don't find any issues with erasing without the eraser, quote unquote, function on the Heart of Metal, because it doesn't have one. You have to hit the button and then erase, which isn't an issue for me. But the Remarkable is really handy. The eraser's handy. I just worry about the security of the pen and the durability because of how it's attached. On to the next one. I did talk about the Pro, the Marker Plus eraser being fantastic. Talked about the con for the security. So where does that leave us? I think the productivity winner for me is the Supernote A5X. The feel winner, hands down, just with the metal edge. The book is the book folio is a little more complete, or not complete, it's a little more polished feeling. The book folio does feel a fuzz cheaper on the Supernote, but it's not bad, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't notice if I didn't have these two side by side. So looks, feel, the Remarkable wins, but it's just not, but the Supernote isn't bad, to say the least. I do really enjoy the Supernote. It's just plastic. Without having them side by side, it's almost one of those things that if you don't know the difference, if you don't know, you don't know. Oh, and I didn't even talk about this, but this is really handy. I love how the navigation of the Supernote is really very easy to navigate. Other people do mention that, even come from the top down, you get the other menu bars. So it's just a really fantastic interface. So where does that leave us for overall winner? Which one am I keeping? I am keeping, let's try to do this. I'm not a professional YouTuber. Oh no, I can't do it. I had it written here. I was gonna do an unveil, but I am keeping the Supernote A5X. Absolutely love the device. I did enjoy going through this process, trying to decide which one I liked. I liked touching, feeling, using them both. The Remarkable, I can't say enough about it. It is truly a fantastic piece of equipment. But for what my use case is, the organization, keeping everything logically in its spot, being able to search. This is one thing I want to talk about really quick. A lot of videos out there talk about the search function or the indexing function of these notes. When you do I'm going to do a new note really quick. Test 1. I want to do a new page. Let's call it 3, 4. Okay, that's probably plenty. And one of the things that people talk about is you can add the titles within a note, which is really a good feature. And what did I do? Uh-oh. I don't know what I did. This is going to break my one take. I might have to splice these together. Okay, so let's try this again. So let's go into my test note. I don't know where my lasso tool went. Huh. I haven't run into this before. This is new. This is most likely a user error. So let me go into my team members here. Let's find another file that I was working on. Let's go in here. Let's add a test. I don't understand. All right, I'm gonna stop and we'll come back. Okay, sorry about that. I had this thing, it had me clear the clipboard. I've never had that happen. I lost my lasso tool, but we're gonna do a test one here. What I wanna show is really how the table of contents, so to speak, or the titles really work for documents. I haven't really seen a quick and easy explanation of this. So I have a note open, I'm starting a new note. I'm going to start a new title. So it's gonna be, just hit that little button, title 1, go to my next page. I wanna add another one. Second title, 3, third title, right? I mean, you get the idea. And this tool is just absolutely fantastic. So I've created all my titles, right? They show up here in my handwriting. It doesn't convert them to text, which is fine. So now when I want to reference this multiple page document and say I'm doing a weekly meeting with a team member, and I can just keep running notes and just highlight the titles so I don't have to keep doing new pages and completely new files for every week. I can just go to page 2 and it takes me right to page 2. It's very simple, very easy, and just not anywhere close to what the Remarkable has in terms of functionality, which I'm really looking forward to because I do have very structured standing meetings with my team. So taking notes in one document, going to that master file, hitting my title, being able to navigate, so in my use case, these will be dates of one-to-one meetings, and I can go back and go, oh, okay, we talked about that on this day. Here are the action items from that conversation, and here's what we talked about. It'll be a fantastic reference tool. Really looking forward to it, but I wanted to show that it wasn't on my master wasn't on my master list of things to talk about, but just another reason why the winner and what I am keeping is the Supernote A5X. Fantastic device. Really excited to really integrate it into my workflow and very happy with my purchase. So unfortunately, I'll be returning the Remarkable, but wow, is the Remarkable not an incredible piece of equipment? Yeah, it really is. Love the feel. It's actually pretty a harder decision than I thought it would be based on some other reviews. With the update of the Remarkable, it seems like the folders are much improved over prior versions, but still not where the Supernote is. So really looking forward to continuing to use the Supernote in my daily workflow. Been using it for a couple days now, and I had the Remarkable for about a week before I really started using the Supernote. So good experience with both. The average guy review, kind of my one take-ish. I'll have to figure out how to splice these together because, like I said, I'm not a video guy. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found it useful. And leave your comments down below if you enjoyed it or didn't. So thank you so much. Take care.